Ferrari, DNC, do you want to talk to us about what their weekend looked like? It was better than last weekend.
Listen, Vettel saved that team from a better finish when he called. And I didn't know that he did this during the race. I saw the video afterwards. I think everybody saw the video afterwards where he called for the mediums when the team was calling in for the softs. And obviously, we can see how horrible of a call that was because they put the softs on Leclerc and Leclerc was literally nowhere. And he was even complaining on the radio how bad that those tires was in that car. It compromised him completely. He probably could have gotten a better finish. But it just shows again how Ferrari just shoot themselves in the foot. One thing that's good is that Vettel seems like he's getting back to his old self. He did an awesome job to finish up there. Raced well. But they should have been at least 5th and 6th, I think. I think they would have been able to pull that off if Leclerc had the right tires. And one thing, and I'm going to praise Leclerc, obviously, because he's my favorite driver.
Praise him for
but he for what? Because he showed how good he was, good of a driver he was defensively and keeping the cars back, even though he was on the worst tire. And that battle with Lando was so cool to watch, man. It was so good to see those two go, wheel to wheel. Clean racing, very exciting to see. And obviously at that point, Leclerc pulled off a great overtake going into turns 1, 2, and 3, where he literally went to turn 1 and he went one way, then the next turn he went the other way to finally finish that overtake on turn 3. That was an amazing battle to watch. And, Lando did just as good. And, I can't wait to see these guys competing against each other. When you see that was amazing. But, and Leclerc did a great job, but they just put him on the wrong strategy. I think he should have finished up high.
Listen, I think Vettel did phenomenal just by making that call. That's not the first time he does it. He's made that call in the past before about the tire.
Well, he did two things. He made the call and then he passed Leclerc because you saw the train that developed behind Leclerc. It was Perez. It was one of the McLarens. Yeah. It was one of the Renaults.
Listen, Leclerc was the midfield gatekeeper this weekend because he fought everybody in the midfield.
Wow. Yo, but you know what's crazy? Is
I'm not Yancey. I'm not going to defend Leclerc.
No, but Yancey mentioned defensive driving. I'm like, yeah, it looked like he was defensive driving and like staying in his lane, making sure he put on his turn signals because everybody was behind him. It was like crazy.
He was the gatekeeper. That's what I think that he did this weekend. He was just the gatekeeper.
Listen, he was trying to defend this spot. He put the car in the right places. But yeah, I mean, that's what created the train. He's a great driver, man. He's a great driver.
He kept it under, 60 miles per hour. He made sure he was good.
Yeah, he was riding on the limit, all of that stuff,
But
haters.
Yeah, exactly. They qualified actually 5th and 6th. They were, like I mentioned earlier, 1 full second behind the Mercedes cars. They actually started off the race really freaking strongly behind Bottas's jumping of the start. They both jumped out well ahead, and they were doing
what
really
did Bottas do?
He jumped the start.
Oh, okay.
So Leclerc dove into the pits first per team orders. He was actually trailing Vettel at that time, but they brought him into the pits first, and they put him on used softs, as you guys mentioned. That was just a mistake. I just don't understand what they were thinking. Everybody else that had pitted around him went on to mediums, and that kind of tanked his race. He also had an incredible battle with Alex Albon, but in this track, again, it's about the aerodynamic wash from the cars and being able to get around that.
Yeah, in this track, wherever you go, is a battle, pretty much. If you're getting close to somebody, you're going to battle out. Because they have space, for runoffs, which is what they don't have in Monaco. So they're able to push each other a little bit. What I got to say about Vettel and Leclerc, because they got passed by everybody, is that they did good defensive.
Guys, I hate it.
They did great defensive. All the passes that they did or that were done to them were super clean.
So they're defensive drivers. Did you get their certificate for the insurance?
Yeah, man.
Jeez.
So, over this weekend with them, it's just, if the soft tire would have worked this weekend, they would have done phenomenal. But the soft tires did not work at all. And they were the only ones pushing it.
Why would you put on a soft tire on a track that's just drying off and it's cool?
It's
man.
too cool.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Not make any sense.
That soft tire is only good on a track that's already heated up, so it can.
That's where an experienced driver like Vettel makes decision like that, not Leclerc. Leclerc just goes by what they tell him.
What I want to say is that, a soft tire is only good when the conditions are hot. It can heat up quickly. It can stick to the track better, and you get better grip. But if that tire is not heated up properly, you're not going to get any grip to the corners.
Listen,
and that's exactly what happened to Leclerc. It was a horrible call. Ferrari did it again. They put their strategists put their drivers in bad positions, and they wound up paying for it with a bad result.
Listen, that's why you need experience. In this last race, Leclerc was a monkey driving because they told him we're going to put you on soft, and he didn't say anything. I couldn't keep talking and stay serious. I had to laugh. I'm sorry.
You see any last words on Ferrari before we move on?
What else is there to say, man? Let's move on to the next race, and maybe we'll get a better result. I mean, it's going to be a tough season for us. I don't have anything else to say.